Murray Barracks inaugural host, John Rosso wins Lae Open, and mining and free trade zone focus.
Good evening, this is Sunday's news. The 36th Remembrance Day was commemorated in two occasions in Port Moresby today. This year, for the first time, the dawn service was held at the Murray Barracks headquarters, while the main program was at the Ella Beach Memorial Park. This is also the first big event for the newly appointed Governor-General, Sir Bob Dadai, to officiate.
Elections in the country, the National Capital District has given prominence to the Remembrance Day today. Celebrations began with a dawn service held for the very first time at the Murray Barracks headquarters. Also for the first time was the participation of the newly formed PNG brass band of the 1RPIR. The event was witnessed by a small crowd of military officials, international dignitaries, and PNG Defence Force Commander Brigadier General Gilbert Toropo.
The ultimate sacrifice was paid so that peace, freedom, and democracy was established in our country. So our people, you and I, can enjoy that freedom today. As a developing nation with more than 800 languages, tribes and cultures, we are faced with many challenges as we chart our way forward to embrace democracy through politics, economics, and other social affairs. Because it is through partnership and unity we can be stronger to progress ahead. Any differences are to be resolved in a more cordial and consensus manner in the true spirit of Melanesian brotherhood, or as partners in the region.
A second program was held at the Ella Beach Memorial Park that was officiated by the Governor-General, Grand Chief Sir Bob Dadai. This is the first major event led by the new Governor-General.
Privileged and honored to say that our ordinary people who served in the Second World War sacrificed their future for our future and the future of our generation to come. Our worded.
The Governor-General also added that other parts of the country should be actively involved in commemorating the event so that they are able to appreciate the significance of Remembrance Day. Meanwhile, this year's occasion is held at a time when security personnel have been deployed to parts of the country for the national elections. Many will remember this year's event as a day after two police personnel lost their lives while on deployment in the Highlands. Condolence messages have been flooding social media since yesterday after the country has learned of the lives lost by the security forces on duty.
Tensions are high in Warburg and Mount Hagen following separate election-related incidences. Security forces in Warburg have been on high alert following the deaths of 4 people, including 2 mobile squad members. Retaliatory attacks are expected and the situation is being kept under close watch. In Mount Hagen, meanwhile, tensions triggered by the declaration of William Duma have reportedly forced the closure of the airport and other services. Police and Defence Force personnel are on high alert. We will bring you more updates as the situation develops. And re-elected member for Yanguru Sausia, Richard Maru, thanked the security forces for a good job during the elections in the electorate. Elections for Yanguru Sausia ended with Richard Maru's declaration last Friday.
I also want to thank members of the security forces, the Defence Force, CIS, and the police for a job well done. I want to commend them for an outstanding job. They made sure the elections went on very smoothly. They ensured that even the counting went on very smoothly. I want to salute members of the Defence Force from Barracks, members of MS-12 who came down from Enga, members of CS who are based at Quebec. I want to thank the RO and all the assistant returning officers and the county officers, all the polling officers for a job well done.
Following his declaration late Friday, Richard Maru, re-elected member for Yangaru Sausia, says more will be done in the next 5 years. Speaking at a media conference in Port Moresby this morning, Maru outlined his priorities for the district, which includes the opening of mining activities in the province.
In 2012, Richard Maru won the Yangaru Sausia seat as an independent candidate. He has since become a staunch PNC member.
I'm keen to go back and join my team in camp and make sure we get invited to form government, and we will put together a solid team to come back and under the Prime Minister lead this nation over the next 5 years.
For Yangaru Sausia and East Sepik province, he believes mining will be the answer to the province's progress.
I want to say to the people of East Sepik, my win is a win for East Sepik as well. We are going to do everything and anything to support the government, deliver the freedom mine, of course, the Wafi Copper mine, and the Papua LNG project. Those are very important projects that we must deliver. And as a member of a senior minister within PNC, we are very determined to make sure we deliver that. In order for those projects to help prop our economy, create jobs, and improve our cash flow position going forward, especially at this time when we are going through an economic downturn.
And he also wants to see progress in the free trade zone in the Sepik Plains.
This project will underpin our economy in the province and our district. It will create jobs, it will create income-generating opportunities, and the people of Yangaru Sausia are clear. They want this agriculture project as an absolute priority. They want it yesterday. Everywhere I went throughout the campaign, the people have been very clear. They want the agriculture project to start in the Sepik Economic Zone. And one of my first tasks is to talk to the Allied Group of Israel to get that project moving.
Maru is part of 14 PNC candidates who have been declared so far.
Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray!
Sarah Aupong, National MTV News.
Re-elected West New Britain Governor Sisindran Mutavel says elected leaders of the province must work together for the good of the people. Mr. Mutavel said this during the signing of his writs this afternoon. The member-elect for Talasia, Francis Moneke, also signed his writs and was officially declared by West New Britain Provincial Returning Officer Emily Kelt in Kimbe.
You may go through some tough time, hard struggles, but me like talk, thank you, Lord. All the time, also stop, Lord. This is a counting room. And in fact, I'm first time people come witnessing this counting room. Look, and me like congratulating two Lae Open members, Yumi, also I'm re-elected Honorable Joseph Lelang as a member-elect for Kenton Gloucester. Now, member-elect for Talasia Open, Honorable Francis Galia Manake.
Sitting New Island Governor Sir Julius Chan was declared yesterday at 11:25 p.m. by New Island Provincial Returning Officer Ivan Lakatani. He held up to the final 13th elimination when former New Island Administrator Moses Makits in third spot with 5,796 votes were distributed. The People Progress Party founder retained the governor's seat with 24,892 with the absolute majority of 24,083. National Alliance candidate Michael Singan finished second with 23,273. There to congratulate Sir Julius was former member for Kabeng and People's Progress Party leader Ben Micah. Sir Julius becomes the third People's Progress Party candidate to be declared so far. Lae businessman John Rosso has been declared MP-elect for Lae Open. Rosso, who ran as an independent, polled 8,676 ahead of Senagora, who came second on over 5,000 votes after the 47th exclusion. Celebrations had already begun outside the counting center well before the official declaration. Rosso said he will be working closely with the other MPs from Morbe.
At 1 p.m. today, crowds had already gathered outside the Ser Ignatius Kilage Stadium, awaiting the declaration of the Lae Open seat. Cars loaded by supporters of independent and leading candidate John Rosso lined the Markham Road, and loud cheers could be heard. Meanwhile, officials were finalizing the elimination process. After the 47th exclusion today, Rosso reached the absolute majority ahead of Senagora by over 2,000 votes. Officials prepared for the declaration. Accompanied by cheers from supporters, Rosso arrived at the Lae Open counting center. By 3 p.m. this afternoon, he was declared as Lae's new members-elect.
I think it's something that I'm happy with. I can do something for my people now.
The interests of the people will be his priority.
I want to make Lae the place that I grew up in, a place where it is safe, where women and children can walk around freely, where there are no potholes. It's going to be a hard job. It's a big task. We have to all put our heads together despite party affiliation.
Rosso maintained his lead during the primary count and soared ahead of other candidates during the elimination round, finishing with 8,767 votes. Amongst the top three candidates were Senagora and independent candidate Valentine Buri. Meanwhile, cheers can still be heard outside the stadium as supporters of Lae's new member-elect John Rosso celebrate his win. Lucy Kopana, National EMTV News, Lae.
As more independent candidates are being declared, a war of words has arisen between leading Mosby Northwest candidate Cristiano Murata and People's National Congress Party leader Peter O'Neill. Today, the Prime Minister released a statement calling on Cristiano to respect independent candidates instead of resorting to paid advertisements in an attempt to coerce new members of Parliament. He said the PNC were also watching the number of independents being elected, but they are not presuming them to join them. Mr. O'Neill has called on all parties to be patient and to honor the support these successful independent candidates have been given by their communities. As of this afternoon, a total of 5 independent candidates have been declared. So far, 40 seats have been declared in several seats around the country. PNC added 2 more after Sasindra Mutavel for West New Britain Regional and Douglas Tomariesa for Kiriwina Goodenough were declared last night. This brings PNC's lead to 14 declared MPs. The other parties, Pangu has 6 and National Alliance has 5. Our development party scored 1 today with Francis Maneke, who has won the Talasia seat. PPP now has 3. The rest of the other parties, 1 each and 5 independents with the declaration of Lae Open member John Rosso and Rigo Open member newly elected member Lekwa Gure, who has defeated PNC's Anopala. EMTV National News continues after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. We now look at the progressive results around the country. To the last results we have for all 3 of the seats in the NCD. For the NCD regional seats after count 341, leading is Powers Parkup with 38,209. Running second is Andy Bauer with 19,159. And running third is Michael Kandio with 16,411. To counting updates for Mosby Northwest after elimination 15. Leading is Semekere Murata with 9,329. Running second is Joseph Tonde with 6,586 and running third is Lohia Boy Samuel with 6,205. For Mosby Northeast after count 21254, leading is sitting MP Lae Amayu with 8,122. Running second is John Cowper with 6,785, and running third is Andrew Mal with 6,658. To the Central Province, in the Karakuhiri, results after count 41, leading is Peter Iso Aimo with 15,275, running second is Paru Aihi with 10,166, and running third is Stephen Manai with 6,942. Northern Regional results after count 55, leading is Gary Jufa with 33,497, running second is Jin Pakop with 6,648, and running third is David Aurora with 5,449. To Morabel Province, results for Morabel Regional after count 242, leading is Ginsen Saunu with 58,980, running second is Luther Wenge with 43,028, and running third is Kemas Tomala with 28,090. Counting for Lae Open after exclusion 36, leading is Kennedy Wenge with 6,972, running second is Samson Timpson with 6,394, and running third is Maisom Som with 5,268. Medang Regional after count 65, leading is Jerry Singrock with 33,995, running second is James Yali with 23,894, and running third is Peter Yama with 23,174. To West Sepik Regional after count 45, leading is Tony Wawa with 11,321, running second is Amkat Mai with 8,539, and running third is Greg Kapam Nombo with 6,538. Over to the Highlands. For Southern Highlands, progressive results for Southern Highlands Regional after count 248, leading is William Powie with 45,255, running second is Joseph Coble with 32,677, and running third is Jerry Kiwai with 27,682. Mbongu Open after count 122, leading is Francis Awesa with 11,715, running second is Pilani Nigi with 9,809, and running third is Stephen Temo with 6,771. Kagua Erave after count 96, leading is James Lagea with 7,580, running second is Mino Pano with 6,692, and running third is Joel Raitano with 5,997. Mendi Open after count 135, leading is Michael Nally with 17,547, running second is sitting MP Dave Kawano with 14,864, and running third is Isaac Joseph with 14,239. Nipa Kutubu after count 115, leading is Philemon Embo with 12,376, running second is sitting MP Jeffrey Komal with 12,002, and running third is Luke Simon Akop with 8,811. The Electoral Commissioner is expected to announce a new date for the return of writs for the 2017 National General Elections. This follows a meeting between the Governor-General, Grand Chief Sebob Dadai, and Electoral Commissioner Patilis Kamato at 2 p.m. today. The return of writs was initially set to be tomorrow, the 24th of July. However, more than half of the 111 seats are yet to be declared as counting continues. Commissioner Gamato will be holding a media conference tomorrow at 10 a.m. National EMTV News continues with stories making headlines overseas. When we come back, stay with us. Welcome back. Now to stories overseas. The United Nations is describing it as the world's biggest humanitarian crisis right now. Yemen's cholera outbreak has killed nearly 2,000 people in the past 3 months. The disaster is being fueled by Yemen's 2-year civil war, with civilians in areas controlled by Houthi rebels the hardest hit. We warn viewers that they may find images in this story disturbing.
Another crisis has hit Yemen. People here question how much more they can take. War and poverty have combined to mean cholera has swept through this country faster than any on record. Unless treated quickly, this waterborne disease can kill. Most have walked hours to get treatment, but only the fortunate make it in time. Samira rushed here from the village to save her daughter. Her family have suffered all 3 tragedies of this war. They've lost their home to an airstrike, the children go without food, and now they're all fighting cholera. Too malnourished to breastfeed, Samira has been feeding her daughter powdered milk with cholera-infected water. More than 7 million people here also face the threat of famine. In another clinic lives Abdullah. For months now, he's had very little food or access to clean water. Aid agencies are doing what they can, but the magnitude of this outbreak is outstripping their ability to respond. 1 person dies in Yemen every hour from cholera. Hospitals here are on the verge of collapse, so schools like this one are being turned into cholera treatment centers. Local businessman Mujahid al-Saudi is funding this place out of his own pocket. 5,000 have been brought here in the 2 months since it opened.
العالم ومجلس الأمن والأمم المتحدة انعدمت الإنسانية فيهم عندما تحدث هذه الكوارث وسببها العدوان والعالم متفرج ولم يصدر منه أي قرار حتى إدانة.
People face the biggest threat in rural areas. In this one village alone, 20 people have died in the space of 3 months. Here on the edge of the village is the only source of water. The people know it's infected, but with no other options, they continue to rely on it.
To America, where the White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer has quit one of the toughest jobs in U.S. politics. Donald Trump often criticized Spicer's performance and his ill-fitted suits, but today Spicer pulled the plug.
6 months he was the president's confrontational mouthpiece.
Please stop shaking your head again. Somebody's asking a question. It's not your press briefing. Okay, you don't get to just yell out questions. We're going to raise our hand like big boys and girls.
But it was Sean Spicer who threw his toys out of the cot, quitting as White House press secretary over the president's appointment of a new communications director.
It was in the best interest of our communications department, of our press organization, to not have too many cooks in the kitchen.
He'd lost the president's confidence long ago, despite aggressively defending him from his very first day at the podium.
This was the largest audience to ever witness an inauguration, period, both in person and around the globe.
Spicer was proven to be incorrect, giving rise to the expression alternative facts.
You had someone as despicable as Hitler who didn't even sink to using chemical weapons.
In his short time in the job, Sean Spicer became the most mocked White House press secretary in history.
Begin today by apologizing on behalf of you to me.
But Spicer is gone, leaving through the back door of the West Wing as new communications director Anthony Scaramucci took the podium. Dubbed the Mooch, he's a wealthy financier and a personal friend of the president, but he hasn't always been in Trump's corner.
Does he know what you said about him back in 2015 when you said he was a hack politician?
He brings it up every 15 seconds, okay? I think he's got some of the best political instincts in the world and perhaps in history.
And President Trump is going to need all the help that he can get next week. Jared Kushner, Don Jr. and Paul Manafort all scheduled to testify in front of the Senate Intelligence Committee about their meeting with a Russian lawyer last year. Those hearings will now take place behind closed doors, but that won't stop the Trump-Russia saga dominating Washington again. Meaning Scaramucci won't have to wait long for his first big test.
Still in America, the embattled Minneapolis chief has resigned after one of her officers shot dead an Australian woman. 40-year-old Justine Damond was killed after she called 911 to report what she believed was a sexual assault near her home.
Neighbourhood Justine Roos-Chick Damond called home.
Justine was struck down. Now we know that any of our children can be struck down.
The Minneapolis community calling for justice after the 40-year-old meditation teacher was shot dead by police a week ago.
Send those killer cops to jail!
She'd called 911 to report a possible sexual assault, and when she approached the police car, she was shot by Officer Mohammed Noor through the driver's window. Minneapolis Police Chief Janae Harteau has been criticised for not returning from holiday after the shooting. On her first day back at work yesterday, she said this.
I believe the actions in question go against who we are as a department, how we train, and the expectations we have for our officers.
And today she resigned, forced out by the city's mayor.
Both the chief and I concluded we need new leadership at MPD.
But the mayor herself faced backlash from angry protesters.
We do not want you as the mayor of Minneapolis, and we're asking you to resign.
After being forced out of her own press conference, she returned to say she would not stand down.
I will not be resigning. And like I said, it is understandable to me that, people's frustration is high. I share that frustration.
An investigation is still underway. There was no footage of the shooting as both police officers' body cameras were switched off. But a witness has today spoken with investigators and is believed to have provided them with video they took of the incident.
Chukai Sports is next. Details after the break.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome to Chukai Sports. Wales named a train-on squad for the Rugby League World Cup at the World Cup kit launch, which marked 100 days until the opening group match against Papua New Guinea. The squad features 12 players from Super League clubs, 9 players from Championship clubs, 13 players from League clubs, League One clubs and 4 players from NRL and Australian clubs. They face Papua New Guinea in Port Moresby on Saturday, October 28, before travelling to Townsville to take on Fiji. 8 schools in the Central Province officially launched the school's volleyball competition at the Tarama Aquatic Sports Complex in Port Moresby. President of the association, Nick Mino, says the aim of the event is to showcase and identify sporting talents. Godwin Eki reports.
Aiming to identify young and talented school-based players was what President Nick Mino emphasized, saying the aim was to bring high school students in Central Province together and classify potential future players. The event, in partnership with the PNG Volleyball Federation, is to be used as a pathway to scout strong players for national and international events in the future.
Currently we have these 8 schools so far which are participating, which have closer access to the facility itself. Unfortunately, we have 3 other schools which are not with us. That's Mainohana, Yanu High School and Kupiano.
While you might say it's only one sporting code, Nick says once the event gets bigger and better, more and more codes will be included so that students can have a variety of sports to choose from.
We thought that volleyball would be a little bit easier to run because of the facilities we have available. Most schools probably don't have the soccer facilities, so maybe in future we'll look at the other sports as well.
As more codes get to be introduced, in the long run, it should help the students identify a particular sport one can associate with. While the event only involves central secondary schools, Volleyball Federation PNG is hoping to engage schools in NCD to also participate and compete.
I'd like to give opportunity to the students to advance further in their sporting careers, to excel, to represent at the national level, and maybe if they do well, they go to the international level, just exposing students.
The event is the first of its kind, and the association is planning to run certain school-based competitions each year. Godwin Eki, National, MTV Sports.
To NSL, the top-of-the-table clash between Lae City Dwellers and Huawei PS United ended in favor of the defending championship. The Dwellers powered the way to a 4-0 victory over PS United at Bisini Football Ground yesterday. Dwellers goal-scoring freak Raymond Gunemba scored a brace to reach 16 goals in 10 matches after round 2 of the competition. Gunemba is likely to win the National Soccer League Golden Boot Award for most goals scored this season. Meanwhile, the second match between Vitis Yamaros and Buang FC did not eventuate as scheduled. Still on football, English Premier League Championships Chelsea's have completed the signing of Spain forward Alvaro Murata from Real Madrid on a 5-year deal. Chelsea signed the 24-year-old, who has now passed his medical and will join the squad on the pre-season tour of Asia. British media reports said Chelsea would pay about £70 million, that's around 297 million PNG kina for Murata. Murata scored 20 goals in all competitions in just 17 starts, giving him the best goals-to-games ratio of all Real Madrid strikers. Chukai Sports continues after the break with more football and golf. Stay with us.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome back to Chukai Sports. In more football news, Real Madrid forward Cristiano Ronaldo was the star attraction at the Chinese Super League top-of-the-table clash between Guangzhou Evergrande and Shanghai SIPG yesterday. The Portuguese striker wowed the crowd with his presence.
Cristiano Ronaldo was welcomed onto the field by an excited crowd on a hot night in Shanghai, China.
Still feel hot. This is the hottest day because I'm here. Yeah, this is the hottest day.
After a scoreless first half, Guangzhou Evergrande found the back of the net early in the second half through substitute Allen. Shanghai SIPG quickly responded with a goal after Brazilian Elkeson set up Wule for his first goal of the night. Both sides scored another goal each, which keeps Guangzhou Evergrande just a point ahead of Shanghai SIPG at the top of the table. Meanwhile, Tianjin Quanjian is a distant third place, 9 points behind the leaders. Shane Saroya, National, MTV Sports.
To golf, it was deja vu with the three Americans who led on the opening day of the Royal Birkdale Open Championship in England. They're still at the top at the midway stage.
Brolly day at Birkdale as fans arrived braced for the worst. Grey skies and blustery winds. Tough for watching, just imagine playing. Well, the man at the top didn't seem to mind as America's Matt Kuchar set the early target. Cooch. But soon the story was Rory. Yesterday, Rory McIlroy had one of the worst starts you will ever see. Today, one of the best. A trio of early birdies as he continued an impressive revival. A man who'd seemed down and out, back in with a fighting chance.
Just the start.
I continued where I left off last night. I made some birdies. I did exactly what I wanted to do, get in and finish the tournament under par for the first 2 days and see what the guys do this afternoon.
Well, as the winds strengthened, they struggled. Charles Schwartzel's ball actually being blown away. But Ian Poulter held firm, one of the home favourites, firing up the fans.
For Poulter, and he's got it.
As things turn soggy, though, Jordan Spieth's golf, at least, was as crisp as ever. The American in ominous form. But the day's most magical moment belonged to Chris Wood. Just when he needed it, this on the very last hole. Surely the definition of a grandstand finish.
That ends Chukai Sports. The weather details when we come back.
Chukai Sports. Chukai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
Now looking at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow. In the southern region, Port Moresby brief rain showers then cloudy. Daru some showers then cloudy. Kerama light showers then cloudy. Alatau partly cloudy with light showers later, and Popondetta a shower or two then partly cloudy. In Mamase, Lae few showers then cloudy. Medeng occasional rain showers then cloudy. Wewak rain showers occurring then cloudy, and Vanimo thundery rain showers occurring then cloudy. In the New Guinea Islands, Lorengau thundery rain showers occurring then cloudy. Caving and Buka, few showers then cloudy. Kokopo and Rabaul, thundery showers then cloudy. And Kimbe, occasional rain showers then partly cloudy. And in the Highlands, all centers, few showers then partly cloudy. Strong wind warning for small ships for tonight and tomorrow. Strong wind warning current for all coastal waters of PNG from the inland areas of southern PNG Indonesian border through Torres Strait and Daru to Kiwai to Kerama to Yule Island to Hood Point to all Milne Bay Islands including Samurai Island to Cape Vogel to Finschhafen through Vitia Strait, Dampier Strait, CSC Islands to Long Island to Medeng to Bogia to Wewak to Aitape to Vanimo and northern PNG Indonesian border and all Manus Islands to New Britain to New Island to Manus and Bougainville. Waters of southern PNG Indonesian border through Torres Strait and Daru to Kiwai Island to Kerama to Yule Island to Hood Point to Samurai Island with waters of eastern and western Milne Bay Islands with waters of Samurai Island to Cape Vogel to Finschhafen with waters of Finschhafen through Vitia Strait, Dampier Strait including CSC Islands to Long Island and with waters of West New Britain and Bougainville, seas at 2.5 to 3.0 meters. Waters of Long Island to Medeng to Bogia to Wewak to Aitape to Vanimo and northern PNG Indonesian border and with waters of Manus and its western group of islands, seas at 2.0 to 3 meters. Waters of East New Britain to New Island, seas at 1.5 to 2.5 meters. Ocean forecast for PNG areas. The Coral Seas, seas rough with southeast winds at 25 to 35 knots with gusts. Solomon Seas, seas rough with southeast winds at 25 to 34 knots. Bismarck Seas, seas moderate to rough with southeast winds at 20 to 34 knots. And the Pacific Ocean, seas light to moderate with southeast winds at 10 to 20 knots, reaching 25 knots.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
And that's the news, sports and weather for Sunday, July 23rd, 2017. On behalf of the entire news team, pleasant viewing. Good night.